All right. Well, today I thought we would draw a card, see what shows up and what kinds of thoughts we can have around power. These are our consciousness on deck cards. And so, inside of keeping with that every life is a schoolroom, and we want to be able to play on demand and show up for ourselves, whatever that means. I think a lot of times people think showing up for yourself means that you're supposed to be on and you're supposed to be happy and you're supposed to be productive every minute. But actually, to me, showing up for yourself means you're showing up with your truth, showing up on it, saying, I am here and I'm going to pay attention to who I am and what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. So, okay, let's see if I can find ourselves a card here that we like. All right, here we go. Silence. This is a great thought process around how we can think about silence in terms of cultivating our own power. And so I love this, right? It has the little over, right? And I think about silence a lot of times in communication and how it appears to me that people are either largely not silent or largely silent. But really, you can actually start seeing silence as the space that is creative. It is the opportunity to work with your silence. It means not that you are staying silent only or you're talking a lot, but that the idea that silence actually creates a power shift. And that inside of working with it, it means also the opposite, which is communicating or talking. I also think you can bring a lot of consciousness to when you actually find yourself being silent. Like, am I withholding? Am I actually experiencing myself as not fully able to step into the conversation? And then also to actually watch power dynamics a lot of times have to do with who's talking and who isn't. So it also gives you an opportunity to really notice how are people using words to take their power? How are you using words to put yourself into a certain moment? And I have this a couple of moments, particularly recently, where I didn't have to say what I said. There was nothing to contribute, and it had to do with some way or another wanting to indicate that I knew what was going on or I was in the know, right? Like I think a lot of times when we put words into the space, um, we're not just sharing, we're actually sharing with a point, we're sharing with an intention about it. And then the last thing you might want to think about in terms of working with silence is that um, how are you really with being quiet with yourself? Of course, it really goes right into mindfulness and going inside and centering and whatever. But really, it's like, can you actually be inside and allow yourself to settle in? And, when you think about it, there's 1,000 thoughts running in your head and you're listening to all of those. So the question becomes, how do you still those things so that you can actually be with yourself?